Ugo, now here's a man sitting here with his manager, Chicky Star, eating raw liver. Now, it doesn't take an IQ with the intelligence to split an atom to figure out that Abdullah the Butcher is not playing with a full deck. He's obviously sadistic, he's crazy, he's insane. Any other adjective you want to use to describe that the man's crazy, you can use here. Here he is snatching a fly out of the air, smacking it a couple times, disoriented, and now look what he's getting ready to do. He's going to stick an insect in his mouth, and there he goes right there doing that, and he's eating it.
But wait a minute, one second. Now, what is this here? This has nothing to do with Abdullah. I think this is invading my private life, kind of.
Well, Ugo, like I said, you probably thought that these tapes didn't exist anymore, but here it is in living color for all the people watching this tape.
This is a long time ago.
Well, yeah, I realize this is a long time ago, but you know, you got to get the people the history behind what's going on here. And I know for a fact this was 6 years ago, and maybe your memory is not far enough in that past to be able to remember what was going on here. But one question I've got for you is, what's that stuff on your face?
Well, that's used to be part of my personality. I've always been modern, and I was managing at the time. That was some shiny glitter. I felt fortunate that I had the best wrestlers, and I wanted to make him feel proud of me. But I don't think at this stage in my life I want to see this.
Well, look at this. Here's Abdullah the Butcher eating a piece of paper. Again, I reiterate, or I say again, this guy is not playing with the full deck. It's obvious he's a maniac. He's sadistic. He has no compassion for human existence whatsoever, and yet you're the one that introduced him into the Caribbean area.
Wait a minute. He is and he was a tremendous, great wrestler. I was just lucky enough that he chose me to be his manager. Why should you blame me for this?
Well, I mean, look what... I don't think you can say that. How can you say that? I guarantee you people out there, by the time you finish watching what this man has done inside and outside the ring, you're going to understand that what Ugo's saying right now is totally ridiculous. This guy is sadistic. I mean, like I told you, you don't have to figure it out. You don't have to look at him for long. Look at that far away look in his eye. Obviously, not everybody's home there.
Well, let me tell you something. I've always done a good job for Eddie Grice, for the whole production, but I don't think this is right. This is really invading my privacy. I don't want to look at things that have nothing to do with my life present. I don't want to get into this. This is something very negative for me.
Well, do you think it's easy for me to come out here? I had to come out here with a mask and try and hide my identity. You think it's easy for me to come out here and say what has to be said, what should be said about this man without the fear of maybe...
Well, what about me? What about me? He's seen me in this tape. What about if he thinks that I'm the one that's putting this together?
You know, Ugo, it's obvious to me, and I know it's obvious to people out there, regardless of what you say. You brought Abdullah the Butcher on the interview right here, so obviously you're the one leading him. So don't go...
I don't deny that I was his manager. What I'm trying to say is I don't think at this point in my life, I mean, everybody makes mistakes, but I mean, do I need to see this again? Why should I be put through this? Why if this man hurts me? Now, who's going to be responsible if he takes some action about this? Well, I don't have a mask.
Well, I'll tell you, if he hurts you, then maybe you'll get an idea of all the friends that I've had, some personal friends that's been injured by this man, and all the other wrestlers that have been put out of wrestling by this man. Maybe you'll feel just exactly what those guys felt because they're no longer wrestling. And don't you have a little hard feeling dealing with yourself knowing that you caused all that pain and suffering by bringing this man in?
Well, I don't know. I just don't think this is right, and a professional wrestler is always in danger when he goes inside the ring, and I don't think I should be blamed for this.
Well, let's just go to the first match right now.
Amigos televidentes, finalmente nos permitieron.
Here's the other
entrar
side
a
of the
cámara.
coin, Hugo. Abdullah the Butcher himself getting stitched up right here, and I bet you could put a penny in every one of those scars in his head. Quarters, well, okay, maybe quarters, but look at this man right here. Look at the abuse that head's taken. Sure, he's dished out. Look at that cut over the eye there. It had to be at least 8 stitches there, and here's the doctor sewing up that head, and, you know, this is a very graphic display of exactly what the world of professional wrestling is all about, the dark side, so to speak.
So we can't say that he has hurt a lot of men, but there's been a lot of guys that have also inflicted a lot of ugly scars and wounds on Abdullah the Butcher. His whole body's got stitches, his legs, his whole body. 500 pounds of a lot of stitches, and, well, we can't say he deserves every bit of those. Abdullah the Butcher, a hard man to deal with.